Okay, so this one's in the key of D. It's another real classic McCartney picking song. Beautiful song, it's really well written. But it's the classic Paul style picking, okay? So when he does his fingerstyle stuff, and it's pretty well always the same in almost all his songs, he just uses two fingers, the thumb and the forefinger, and he'll just kind of squeeze, the high note and the low note, like that. And then he does a little strum with his finger, right? And this one, he seems to pick like the high note and the low note. And this chord would be the E string and the D string. And then he seems to do that little picking thing on the B and the G string. Okay, so you got to sort of get that into your head when you go to learn this song. Okay, so that's his picking style, and he uses that in Blackbird and all kinds of stuff that he's done. See, it's sort of his go-to style. Anyway, so the chords involved in this, they're not too hard. It's pretty basic. Well, we start out with that intro, and that's like it's like a D chord with the B in the bass, and he just kind of hits that with his thumb. Let's go, and picks the A string with his thumb, and an upstroke with the finger. And when you do that, you catch the E and the B, right? So you go, drop it down one more here, and then you hit the open E string, which actually gives you that really nice voicing of an E7, right? Okay, so we're here, upstroke, 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 open E. Okay, so that's the intro, and then the chords are just kind of like you got this chord here, which is like it's a D chord, obviously, with that A up high. Now you guys with bigger hands and longer fingers probably want to do it that way. I don't do it that way. I do it like this. Okay, so like that, and if you're going to be this guy here, right, you can do it that way. I like to do it this way. Okay, and then you've got your, this goes through this again, like an E7, then you got an A, you got a D minor 7, and like a G bar chord, but just that part of it over the D bass, and the D, right? And then later on, in that part, got that, which is like a G chord, just that voicing, and you got that voicing of the D chord. Okay, so I say we do the beginning, right? Okay, and then we start with this lick here, and it's so with the melody there. Okay, so from here on in, I'm not going to do it that way, because for me, I hate doing that chord. I find that really awkward and just uncomfortable. So I'm going to do it this way from here on in. Okay, so yeah, we're going to pick that like this. Okay, so just with the little strumming in between. So. And then I just go open there, right, which is just like doing that, just like you D with your middle finger off, but I'm choosing to do it that way, right? Okay, and then I go to the D here, and we kind of hammer on that, and hammer on that. Now the bass is just doing whole notes here, so we just go like one D string, Okay, so it's just whole notes, right? So that whole thing slowly would be this. Okay, and if you can hear the outtakes of this song actually from, I don't know, something that was released that had outtakes, and I was reading about the song, I was doing the research on it, and apparently he did like 25 takes of this song live, singing with the guitar, and you can believe that every single time was a little bit different, and the live takes you can hear, or the outtakes you can hear, you can get them on YouTube. Just search for outtakes, Mother Nature's Son, and you can hear that he's just mucking around, right? Like, he's just doing whatever, he's changing it all the time, but of course we're trying to do the one that the take that we've been listening to for 40 years or whatever, right? So I'll just go over that slowly one more time. Okay, so then the singing starts, and it's here. Okay, so we're just hammering on, always hammering those on. It's not that difficult. It's just getting that strumming in between that might be the hard part for most people. Okay, then we go to this, just like the intro, except we're just going to strum those, right? So we're going to pick the G string on the 4th fret, and we're going to strum just the E and the B string. We really want to pick those hard, okay? Because those are the prominent notes in that pattern. Like, that's prominent, and the strumming is kind of in the back, right? So open E string. Okay, so okay, now the first time he just picks the open E and strums that. The second time through he does that lick, so he goes, and that lick is just open E, slide into E4, A2, D2. Okay, but for this first one, just going to play that open E note, and then we go to an A chord, and we just hit the open A, and we fret up here on E5, and we go like this. So the first one's open A, and then strum that basically the last 3 strings. And then we pick here on the B3 and the open A. So that's a little bit tricky, that part, if you're not used to finger picking. Okay, so take it from here. And then we're to the D, the D minor 7, and then he does this kind of, this really weird lick that I actually think is a mistake. Something like that, right? I find that really hard to do, and like I say, I think it was just kind of a mistake when he did that. So you can just kind of fudge that one, or you can just do it like he normally does it, which is like this. So you're just taking that shape, which is like an F, right? It's all over an open D. And just sliding it up. Putting a little finger here on E3. Okay, I do that once again real slow. Again, the picking there is, you know, we're going to pick the bass and that high note like a squeeze, like a pinch, right? And we want to do the little strumming thing on the D and the G string, or sorry, the G and the B string. Okay. So then it does another verse, and of course coming out of that, we do the lick, right? The A chord, do that again, and we do this just once. Okay, then we get into the middle section, which is this part here. Okay, and what I'm going to do there is, again, you can do it this way if you want. So coming out of this, we got a little strum there. You know, a lot of these strums they're hard to get in. You have to really see them coming ahead of time, right? So. Okay, so let me just 1, 2, 3 on the bass, and we're here, but we just hold that chord, right? So the guys that want to play it this way can do it this way. Okay, so we're picking the squeeze there, right? And then a downstroke with your finger on the G and B strings, right? So. Okay, that's already killing my hand. I can't, that chord is really impossible for me, really. Okay, so I do it this way. Okay, so coming out of this. Okay, I find that a lot easier, and it sounds exactly the same. Okay, and then we slide up to here. To here, which is like that D bar chord, but just here, right? Okay, so that whole thing so far is so it's strum the G and the B, and then pick that B string up on B8. You know, when you're hitting that D string at the same time, right? Right, then he goes, so it's bass string, okay, okay, then we repeat it. I mean, there's different ways of doing this, but when I listen to it, I can definitely hear that A and D in there. You get that real kind of modal sound. It's kind of, you know, the fifths, right? I mean, you could do it here. You could go. But I don't hear that. I don't hear that third in there. And I definitely hear that in there, okay? So that's what I'm sticking with. Okay, and then we come into this section, which is like a really cool descending kind of a pattern. If you follow these chords through, you notice that this G string up on 7th fret, it descends. It'll descend all the way down until you get to the D. And the chords around that are, you just kind of flicking off E7 to E5. Okay, then you drop that finger, okay, down to G6. And then you're dropping it again to G5. And the whole time we're keeping that finger here on B7. Right? Getting that E7. And then we're down to here, which is like a G, right? It's like that, but only here. G minor. Okay, so you know, if you follow that through, you just watch this string, right? So basically it's like D major 7, D7, G, G minor, D. Okay, and that's where McCartney is just brilliant at doing that. He does that in so many of his songs. He's really big on that descending thing. Okay, so just watch how that goes down. Okay, and that's pretty well it. It just repeats after that, right? And the only other part is the second guitar that comes in the last verse. The last verse he doesn't sing; he just kind of humming and stuff. And this is the really cool part. Love this part. So while the first guitar is going, the second guitar does this. Okay, so it starts on D4 to G2. I'll just play it for you once. See, that's the first part, right? So D4 to G2, and just raise that up a fret to D5. Back down. And then up to G7, up to the D note, right? That's the first part of it. Okay, so then it comes up here to D9 and E10. D9, E10, and then the second one is D7 and E9. So from there to there, and we want to slide that down to the next one, which is D6 and E7. Okay, so you can use whatever fingers you want there, whatever's comfortable for you, right? But you want to go, the bass is like 4, right? And you get that little trill on there. And we want to slide that down, right? So and then we do the lick. Okay, and then we just descend from an E to a D, C sharp, open B, A, G, F sharp, E, D. So just okay, and then we do this lick. Open D, sliding up to the F sharp, which is D4, to A2, or G2, sorry, the A note. Okay, and then we do this cool lick, which is, because we're kind of on an F chord here, right? So he goes, and if you know that little pattern, it's kind of big in country music, you know, or blues. Kind of a little pattern that you can do some cool licks with. But this phrase is based on that, so we're here. Okay, then we do the same thing, but now we're over G. Okay, and then we go up here to D. So that whole thing is okay, just like a D chord, but we're just using the third and the root. Okay, so G11 and E10. So that whole thing. Okay, and I'm just using my fingers to, the first finger and third finger, or first and second, whatever fingers you want to pick those two-note chords. Okay? And that's basically it for the song. Great song, and that little part there combined with just sounds beautiful. It's a real great example of Paul's just awesome composing, you know. It's just a real brilliant guy. Gifted natural composer, you know, he just gets it completely. And I've always thought this was a really underrated song of his too, and really nice guitar playing. And you know, the song has a beautiful theme and a beautiful message too, right? So anyways, I hope you get something out of this. I'll talk to you next time.